This episode is brought to you by Broke Ass to Badass, our signature 8-week online course. Our program is the school where you learn to hustle less and focus on what really matters, getting your products, services, and gifts out to the world. Our program is all the branding, tech, social media, and mindset support that you've been looking for. And this is your one-stop shop for building the badass business of your dreams. And guys, fall enrollment for this program is closing August 31st. If you have been waiting for the right time to jump in, now's the time. Jump on over to brokeasstobadass.com/apply and book a breakthrough call with us.
Welcome to Broke Ass to Badass. We're Kimi and Pua, digital media nerds and jiu-jitsu-loving business coaches, joyously obsessed with creating freedom for heart-lit entrepreneurs. We're here to help you go from frustrated to fierce, from hustle to flow, from broke ass to badass. Find out more about us at bledigital.com, and wherever you're listening, be sure to click subscribe so you never miss an episode. Hey, podcast fam. Here we are on a Friday again, our second podcast of the week. And we are just bubbling with so much fun stuff to talk with you about. We have the creative flow going. And so we're popping into your ears extra this month.
We're so extra.
We're so extra. So today we wanted to share with you something that we've been talking about a lot. And anytime we talk about something a lot, we're like, okay, oh my goodness, this means that we have to share it with the world. So we're going to be talking today about asking better questions. And in fact, we're going to be talking about asking badass questions to create the badass business and life of your dreams.
And broke ass questions to not create the business and life of your dreams.
Yes. The flip side.
The flip side. Because I think that's where we get stuck is, especially when we're kind of feeling it, we're in the shit, we have some challenges going on. It's really easy. Broke ass questions always really come down to sitting in victimhood and like that victim mindset, which is, it's kind of natural unless you're aware of it, unless you have the tools and the awareness to shift out of that. But it can feel like things are happening to us. And we often say like, why me? Why is this happening? Why, right? Like, why? I don't understand. I can't figure this out. I don't know what to do. You know, I guess I'm going into the questions already, right? But like that's so natural. And it's really part of our mission to help people who are on this path who may not have had any sort of guidance because we didn't. So, you know, there must be people out there who are just kind of going along blindly trying to figure this out as we did. And it's our mission here at B2B and at BLE Digital to really give people the tools and the support so that you're not going through this alone, so that you can ask yourselves the right questions to figure things out, to shift out of any sort of funky mindsets and to really just create the time and space to keep going.
Absolutely. And I have to say, I'm really deeply grateful to have you in my life and to have had you on this journey because I think that we can really fall into a dangerous trap. Like if I were left alone, many of these broke ass questions, they just sort of run through my head in the background. And because I have you to reflect back the questions that I'm asking constantly, you know, every time we get together, right? We have this awareness of like, oh, like I hear myself say it, right? I'm like, what? I don't understand. Like, can you just tell me like what is happening? And hearing those broke ass questions come out of my mouth and having you reflect them back and say like, okay, is that the question we want to be asking is so huge. And so that's what we really hope from today's episode, that we can all just begin to shine the light on some of the broke ass questions that might be running in the back of our head that we're not even aware of. And this happens to me constantly still. And that's why we've been big fans of asking ourselves really great questions. Gosh, since the beginning of this journey that we're on, beginning of time. And we've always been really inspired by Tony Robbins. He has a famous quote, right? That the quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions that you're willing to ask yourself, right? So our weekly planning system, our weekly planning guide is based on quality questions, and it really makes a huge impact. So that's what today is all about. So really,
I feel like the key word in that quote is willing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's asking yourself quality, impactful questions takes courage, and not everybody is willing to do that. Like if you are, we talked about this in a previous episode, right? Like what's that one question that everybody could benefit from if they ask themselves and they're really honest with themselves? And it was such a simple question. It was so simple that even we were like, wait, what? Is this even like valuable? But it's, am I happy? Are you happy? Like really sit down, be quiet with yourself for like an hour, set an alarm and just say like reflect. Are you happy? You could be happy in certain parts of your life and unhappy in other parts. And why is that unhappiness? Why is that here? Right? And is it because you're not living in alignment with what you value? Is it because you're not doing what fulfills you? Is it because there's a part of your life that you have been ignoring or kind of sweeping under the rug? It's such a deep question, but many of us, myself included in the past, have not been willing to ask ourselves this because we don't want to acknowledge the truth. Because once we understand that truth, you can't ignore it. You can't put it away. It eats at you until you do something about it. Yes. When you do something about it, life becomes so different and so bright and joyful, but it's scary AF. And like the other thing that Kimi kind of touched on that really kind of triggered something in my mind was, if you are on this journey, if you are asking yourself broke ass questions, because that's what we naturally tend to do, sometimes we're too close to everything to even see the bigger picture, to even ask ourselves the bigger questions, because we're so deep in it. We're so close. And that's been our experience recently, right? This company has gone through major shifts lately. And with that came so much excitement and beauty and exposure and so many cool things. But it also brought a lot of dynamic changes and challenges and things that we had never encountered before. And we were so close to it that we just literally felt like we couldn't see what was going on. We couldn't really see the big picture. It was very blurry to us. And so that's really when it's important to reach out to a friend, a family member, an expert in the field that you're confused about, and find someone who can look at this from a bigger perspective from the outside. Because for us, when we coach entrepreneurs, they share with us their challenges and we're like, boom, we got you. We've seen this before. This is what you could do. And they're like, oh my God, why didn't I think of that? But it's really challenging when it's yours, when you're in it. And so that's the other thing we really want to encourage you to do is reach out to us. Like that is the message we share over and over and over, because we love to help people hack their business challenges. And it's something that I think as humans, we also feel a lot of pride around figuring things out for ourselves. So we don't always naturally go to asking for help because there's that kind of like judgment and weakness around that, right? Like you can't figure this out for yourself, or like, I'm a smart person. I got this. I can figure this out. So we read books, we listen to podcasts, we look at articles, and we try to hack this thing, when really just reaching out to somebody who can look at this from the outside can save you so much time and so much energy.
For sure. Yeah, it's a muscle to build, and one that we've built over the years. And now we've really trained ourselves that you're so good. Like I'll like even start to ask a broke ass question and you'll be like, no, don't even ask that. Do you know you do that?
No, I'm sorry.
I love it so much because you're always right. And then I go back and I say, okay, you're right. Okay. Asking that question is going to get us fucking nowhere. So what question can we ask? And usually it is, who can help us with this, or who has done this? So yeah, let's, before we get to badass questions that you can ask yourself, let's, do a little bit of exploration in terms of what some of the common broke ass questions that either we've heard from our clients and or we have said ourselves. And
we've said all of these ourselves.
We've 100% said all of these and more. And you know what? Of course, right? So then, okay, so let's see. So let's talk about some of the broadcast questions on a physical level, because I think that will help people to first sort of get the idea of this, right? So there are so many things that we ask kind of almost unconsciously on a daily level when it comes to our physical self, so that you can sort of see how that leads us to feeling more broke ass. So broke ass in the body, right? So this one is so common, and I catch myself in this one all the time. And it's like, oh my God, why am I so tired? I say that all the time. Why am I so tired? And so your brain, what does it do? It looks for all the reasons that you're tired, and it reinforces in your brain and your body. Okay, well, I guess this is what she wants today. I guess we're tired today, because that's all my body and my brain have heard. So, why we used to see this all the time with our, fitness clients way back when at the gym, right? Like, why is this so hard? Why can't I lose weight? Why can't I do this? So it's all focused on what's not happening and keeping you stuck in broke ass body feeling instead of moving towards a solution, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this actually reminds me, I forgot all about this conversation I had with my dad when I think I was in high school or even younger, maybe middle school. And he had actually gone to a Tony Robbins conference, and he came back and he was just like, I walked on coals, like I'm like the king of the world. And he would like try to shift my mindset on every single thing that I would say. And so I remember he said something like, I can't remember why we started talking about this, but he was talking about this exact thing, asking yourself questions or making statements in your mind, even if they're like, they have great intentions, right? So the example I remember he gave me was saying, when you're walking, say you're walking, like you're balancing on a curb or something like that. And you say to yourself, I hope I don't fall. I know, we were talking. So I was a gymnast when I was little, and I would say things like, I hope I don't fall and like off the beam, or like, I hope I don't bust my landing or something like that. And he would say, because you're saying those thoughts in your mind, your brain is focused on not falling. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing what you don't want to happen in your mind, and you're playing it over and over and over. But you're focusing on not doing it, but you're seeing the negative outcome. So instead, if you focus on saying, I hope I land, I hope I stay on my feet, I hope, like you focus on the positive outcome, that's typically the one that you'll end up with. And when you focus on the negative outcome, because that's what you're visualizing in your head, that's what will manifest, that's what will surface. And it's a funny thing, because essentially on paper, they mean the same thing. I hope I don't fall. I hope I stay on my feet. It means the same thing, but mentally it's so different. And we just have to understand the power of our minds and the power of our like humanity and our connection with our thoughts, because that's the only difference.
For
and
sure.
It's so huge.
Yeah. Like every parenting book on the planet says like that the way you phrase something to a child means everything, right? So, rookie parents, we're like, okay, don't spill that. Watch out. Be careful. You don't want to fall. Like, don't do this. Don't yell. And they always suggest in like most parenting books to just rephrase that, because all your child is hearing, they don't hear the don't, they just hear the second part. So it's like, don't tell them what you don't want them to do. Tell them what you want them to do, because our brains immediately, they paint that picture, right? Our brains are so good at creating that vision of the thing that is stated, whether or not there's a don't in front of it or not. So don't spill that is spill that. Okay. Don't fall. Okay. And what is different with us as adults, right? It's the same exact thing. So yes. So, moving beyond the physical, right? Like let's talk about business now, because I think, this is where it's really near and dear to our hearts, and a place that we have to really shine the light on the questions that we're asking ourselves. And some of the common ones that we would ask all the time in the beginning were like, where are the people? Why don't we have more people, either following us, more podcast downloads? Why can't I have more clients? Why can't I make more money? Why is this so hard? Why does it seem so easy for everybody else? I remember so clearly when we first started our first podcast, and we would look at the numbers and we'd just be like, what is happening? Like, we thought we were going to just have a podcast and there's just going to be like a bazillion followers and sponsors. And, we really had no support or guidance at that time or experience in this world. And so we would look at these numbers and just be so confused and frustrated. And we were asking all the wrong questions for sure. And through it really, I guess, inspired us to do more personal and professional development so that we could begin to ask the right questions and continue to serve, continue to do the work, continue to show up and ask questions that were going to help us to grow and expand and reach the people we were meant to. And had we just stay focused on like, why are our podcast numbers so low? Then we might have quit. Right? We might have gone back to whatever, just said, this is too hard. But because we began to ask the right questions and ask better questions every day, more badass questions, we were able to align ourselves with people that had done it before, or with people that could guide us, people that were experts in the field. And it led us to expand and to grow and to be where we are now.
For sure. I feel like that is like, okay, if you're listening to this and you're like, just give me the magic sauce, where I feel like we're heading in that direction. And so I think you're so right. And the one question that you said that really just sparked it kind of triggered a little bit of past pain for me is, why does this seem so easy for everyone else? Mm-hmm. And of all these things, right? Why is this so hard? Why can't I make this work? Where are our clients? Why aren't we making money? All of these things are sort of coming from that energy of comparison. And it's so easy to do. How can you not compare yourself today with Instagram and Facebook and podcasts and people out there bragging about all the money they're making, like Tai Lopez? Everybody who's ever watched YouTube in their life has seen that Tai Lopez ad where he's like, welcome to my mansion. I'm going to show you how to make billions of dollars. And we're like, great, show me. Like, dang it. Why do you have all this and I have nothing? And so, it's so dangerous, because I feel like comparison alone is responsible for many people quitting on their dreams. And it's so unfair. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I wish that we had done from the very beginning, and I think this has a lot to do with like what we prided ourselves on at first. I know I did. I pride myself on being somebody who can solve problems and figure things out. I am, very independent. Like I like to have my hands in things and do things myself. Outsourcing is very hard for me. Like I like control. And if someone had just told us in the beginning, reach out to the people who are doing what you want to be doing and get help. Mm-hmm. Like way back when we had money saved up from our corporate jobs, when we had that like sparkle in our eye, not that we lost that completely because it's back, but the sparkle went away for a long time because we were broke ass. And I have to tell you guys, it is way harder to stay positive and to stay optimistic and hopeful when you have no money, when nothing's working. It's just, we've been there and we don't want anyone else to go there because it sucks. It is the worst. So I wish this for all of you, that you're hearing this, and that whatever you're doing, wherever you are, get help from people you admire. That's why they're there. That's why we are here. We're not here to, just like make money off people who want businesses. We're here to create a solution for people's pain. And oh my God, just reach out to us, ask us questions, send us an email. We're not going to hoard our secrets. We're going to share it with you. That is the secret sauce, in my opinion. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing that our brain does, right? I get that. I am so with you. There's that part of my brain is like, okay, I'm going to hack this. I'm going to figure it out, right? And yet, if I look and reflect back to our journey as entrepreneurs and just really my journey as a human on this planet, every quantum leap that I've made, every big shift has come after I have reached out to somebody for support. Like that's 100% true. Like align myself with somebody, a mentor, a coach, anybody that is at that next level. Cause that's really the journey, right? It's like you take yourself as far as you can take yourself with your badass problem solving skills that you have. And then you get support and you move to the next level again and again and again. And that is the journey on this planet. That's what we do, right? And so that willingness to keep your heart open for that and for the teachers that, what is that saying? Like, when you're ready, the teacher will appear. It's like for sure. And you can create that readiness by being willing to get out of your own ego and ask for support or just be open to support when it shows up, right? It's like you're going into that listening, receiving mode and being like, wow, oh my gosh, this is the time. I can feel it. We've said that to ourselves on this journey, right? You and I, okay, we're badasses, but we have taken ourselves as far as we can. Now it's time to align ourselves with somebody who can take us to the next level so that we can help and support other people take them to the next level, right? That's the community. That's the collaborative aspect of this whole thing. So
totally.
I'm so fired up around this subject.
I know. And like the thing also that I have to wrap my mind around is, so like in the corporate world that most of us came from, everything you need to know is taught to you by somebody above you in the organization. So that knowledge, that education, that information is being passed down by one person or a group of people in one realm. Like they are passing down what they know to be effective in the organization that you are a part of, right? So they perhaps have been there for a long time and they're sharing what works, they're sharing what doesn't work. Maybe they're sharing about past clients, right? But it's limited to the experience of that person or group of people, right? And it's limited to what they know works at the time. The coolest part about this world that we live in as entrepreneurs is we get to seek advice from people all over the world with all sorts of different experiences, different realms of expertise. And it's so cool. And once we move past the idea of like that block of investing, right? Like what we've done lately, Kimi and I, and it's so different from what I've ever done in the past, is we've invested in expert solutions all over the place. And I have to admit this to you guys because it is a pain point, but I had to work through it. And I think this is valuable. So about a year ago, we invested in a program that was a $15,000 investment, and it hurt. It was at a time when that money didn't even exist. Like it was all on credit, and recovering that debt was really, really, really painful. And it was so painful to the point where I regretted doing the program at one point. And I had to really say, like, this program helped us in so many ways. And I forgot about that because I was blinded by the pain of the debt. And it's so crucial. Like someone just told me recently, they're like, I know this is an old saying, but you got to spend money to make money. And it's so true. Like investments in expert solutions, the energy exchange is often financial, right? You're paying for their expertise and it pays off big time. But you have to have the right mindset in order to trust that that investment will pay itself off. Do your research, align with people who you trust, align with people who are kind of on that same vibration as you, but don't be afraid of that investment. I think that's the biggest thing is fear, right? I'm afraid that if I spend all this money that I don't necessarily think that I have, that it won't benefit me. Right. And I think this is something that we need to trust our gut and just feel into. And so over the last year, Kimi and I have invested in a lot of things, a lot of experts. We've aligned ourselves with people who are, of the same vibration as we are. And it has paid off. We have made so many connections. We are where we are today because we were able to seek advice and help from people who know more than we do about certain things. And I think that's just like the biggest thing here is don't be afraid of that because it is so powerful and there is so much out there for you to take advantage of if you're willing to take that risk.
And be inspired by the people that you're going to be able to help even better because of that investment. Because I think that's really for us, what helps us to get out of our own way and what has helped us get out of our own way when it comes to, because we're not just investing in ourselves, we're investing in our clients. That's really what it is, right? We're investing in the people that we're meant to serve. Yes, for sure, we're going to expand and we're going to grow, but we're doing that in order to be stronger leaders, to be able to serve our clients. And I think for a lot of heart-led entrepreneurs, or all heart-led entrepreneurs, that can really inspire us to take bold action, because it's not just about us. It's about the people that we're meant to serve here in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And if you have a team, we've heard a lot of really amazing stories of business owners and entrepreneurs who do have staff or teams under them investing for their teams, right? Like, you could do a program yourself and try to teach it to your team, or you could just say, this is going to enhance the quality of our service, and I'm going to get this for my team. And that's a really badass move. And if you're in that place where you do have a team and you have the capital to do so, like, definitely we recommend doing that as well.
Absolutely. So let's move on to some badass questions, but can I just add one more thing about broke ass questions before and then we can move out of all of this BS about lack and limitation. One thing also I think that it's important to note is that when you are in the mode of asking broke ass questions, there's something that also happens that for some reason we tend to ask those broke ass questions to people that also have broke ass thinking. Right? Like, it's just normal. Like, if we're in that space, because otherwise your badass friends in the badass community hopefully will be like a Pua and say like, hey, is that the question you want to be asking? Or is there a better question here? Right? So we can really get stuck in this cycle because when you ask broke ass questions, not only will your mind find broke ass answers for you, but people that are also stuck in broke ass thinking will have tons of answers as to why things aren't working. And that can be like, it's like this dangerous like whirlpool that we get stuck in, and it's really hard to get out of. I shouldn't say it's really hard to get out of. That's a bullshit story too, right? It's just a matter of surrounding yourself with people that have chosen badass thinking and a badass mindset. So keep that in mind. Don't just ask, am I asking broke ass questions, but who am I asking these questions to?
Totally. Yeah. We are big believers in community. That's why we have our tribe. That's why we have closed private Facebook groups for the people in our program, because it is so crucial to surround yourself with people who are doing the same things that you're doing and are on that same vibration. And it's really common for us to hear stories like, well, I want to do this so badly, but my friends and my family don't understand because they're all, 9-to-5ers, or they all think that I can't do this, or that I shouldn't do this, or that it's stupid to quit my job, or that, all of these things that come up for us because they just don't understand. It's not that they mean anything by it. It's not that they want to put you down. It's just a lack of understanding, which isn't their fault. But at the same time, it can be really discouraging if you don't have a community of people who are on that mission. So, little plug, join our Facebook group. It's free. It's open. bit.ly/BLE tribe. That's on Facebook. And we would love to have you share with us what you're up to. And we are there to support you every step of the way.
Yay. Okay, let's throw some badass questions out. Well, of course. So I think we already alluded to the asking for support, right? So the flipping the why can't I to who can help me is so powerful. So that's a really, really simple flip that we can make if we just now, with this awareness, shine the light on any question that we ask. So if we find ourselves in the why can't I do this, simply flip it and say, who can help me with this, or who has done this before that I can reach out to?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's like the most badass question.
Yeah.
And the other one that I really love is, how can I serve?
Mm-hmm.
And that is what that does. And I feel like this is a question that you want to get in the habit of asking every day. Just ask yourself this every day, every moment, especially when you feel like you're in the shit and you're starting to go into that victim mindset. Ask yourself, okay, hold on. How can I serve? And it depends on who you are, what you do, what you're doing that day. Maybe you're serving your family, maybe you're serving a client, maybe you're serving your neighbor, but it takes us from that like inner mindset of like being stuck in yourself, like this is so hard for me. Why can't I make this work? This feels yucky. I don't like whatever. Into that, like, how can I take what I'm going through and use it as a service, right? Like, and then it puts you in that mindset of, well, this is really challenging. I'm so excited to figure this out so that I can teach other people, so that I can share what I've learned with others so they don't have to go through it. That's often what we end up switching things to. But it really does shift from that ego mindset to that service mindset.
Mm-hmm. I love that question. I also love, Tony Robbins does this thing where it's sort of like, and I feel like he talks about this, about the physical self, because it's just a little bit easier for people to grasp at first. And then he moves it into other areas of your life. But he talks about like a bad question, a better question, and then an even better question. So like sort of in stages. And I've heard him say like, okay, for many people, right, the question is, as I said earlier, like, why can't I lose weight? Or why can't I make exercise a regular habit? And the better question is, how can I, lose weight, or how can I exercise? What could I do? And then the even better question is, how can I do this and make it fun? Right. And I think that is so powerful, because it's like the answers that think about the type of answers that you're going to get for each of those variations of those questions. The first one, like, why can't I? Okay, well, your brain's going to come up with all the reasons why it's hard for you. Right. How can I, or what could I do? You might get a bunch of ideas, but maybe some of them will be not so fun and not so exciting and not really light you up. So asking that question of, how can I do this and make it fun and make it easier, really lightens it up and helps you to align with what your soul is truly calling you to do, right? So instead of, why don't I have any clients? It's like, how can I serve more people, and how can I serve more people and have fun doing it, right? So it's just a lightener, and it kind of takes it up to that next vibrational stage, I feel. And we love the question, right? Like, how can I, instead of asking yourself, why is my life so hard? My God, like what a heavy question. How can I make my life easier? How can I make this more fun? How can I have fun doing this thing that is going to help me to create the life of my dreams?
For sure. And I do think that this exercise in this episode is going to really trigger people who are stuck in really, really shitty spots. Like, let's be real. Not all of this is like rainbows and unicorns. And it can be so challenging to ask yourself, like, well, how can I make paying off this debt fun? Mm-hmm. Like, it just feels so, it's heavy. Like, some of this is really heavy. You're like, I've built this business. Everything's done. What more can I do? I just don't have clients. How can I make finding clients fun? Like, it just sounds silly almost when you listen to it and you're like, okay, girls, like, that's great, but I am in a really shitty spot. That's fine. Like, be in the shitty spot, because that's what you need. That's where you need to be to move forward. But at the same time, like, don't let this advice turn you off to the point of like, that's so crazy dumb. Like, I get it. I totally get it. And it's something, it's where we've been there, and we have been victims. We have like played the victim role. We are telling you this from a place of love. Like, find a way to shift your mindset, because either way, you are where you are. Either way, you have to find a solution to get out, and you will. You're listening to this, so you're looking for solutions. So fabulous job. Now it's time to take where you are and use it to serve. Use it, shift your mindset to say, like, what this is going to be so beneficial to me in a month, a year even. We often can't see that. We don't know how it's going to serve sometimes. Have faith, have trust that it will help you to serve. And in the meantime, stay positive, stay optimistic, reach out to people who can help, and shift out of that victim mindset, because it's not going to make this any easier.
Great point. Yeah. And, if you're looking for a great, better question to help you to shift up that vibrational scale, at least to get you to a place where you can begin to think that there are ways to make it fun. Just switch on your sort of the gratitude flow by asking what is working in your life right now. What is awesome about your life right now? That's one of the questions that we had in our weekly planning guide. And it's like, it's a great place to start to lay that foundation to help you feel like you can get enough out of the shit and begin to sink into that vibration of gratitude and create change from that place. So really simple, better question, and a really great place to start. Just what is working? What can you be grateful for in this moment? And that will help you to stepping stone your way to the business and the life that you're dreaming of.
Good point. Yeah, gratitude's huge. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So can
we give a sneak peek as to what they can look forward to on Tuesday?
Totes.
Okay, guys. So on Tuesday, you guys are going to hear another amazing interview with one of our Broke-Ass to Badass graduates, Dina Canijo. And she is so amazing. You're going to love it. And she has a company called Natural Aloha. And she's going to tell us all about her inspired bath and body products that she created from her soul. And you're going to hear all about her B2B journey. It was such a fun conversation, wasn't it?
Totally. Yeah, we love her.
Yeah. So you guys can look forward to that. And hopefully you guys listened to our amazing interview with Olivera that was released this past week. We love sharing these stories. We have so many fun ones in the pipeline for you. So yay, yay, yay. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And if for whatever reason you're not on our email list yet and you want to be just, have a quick, easy way to be updated when new podcasts release, then you can go to bledigital.com and make sure you get opted in.
For sure. So guys, this is like, this is the episode where you're like, who can I ask for help? Who can I reach out to? I hope you're asking yourself that question by the end of this episode. And we are here. We're here for you. And you guys by now must know what we do. So we coach entrepreneurs, heart-led business owners, or aspiring business owners to create the business and life of their dreams by growing and scaling their business online. We have an amazing 8-week course, and it takes you from the foundation of really creating the clarity, the alignment, the big vision that you need to get going, to take your business to the next level. And then we walk you through all of the rest, creating your mission statement, your offer, getting really clear on who you serve, why you serve, how you serve, and creating your website, your online course, your membership site, whatever it is that you envision for your business and your life. So if this sounds like something that could benefit you, we really would love to chat with you. We are offering a free 1-hour breakthrough call with you. And these calls, what we really want to share about these calls is, one, they are not sales calls. They are not enrollment calls. They are breakthrough calls. And people who do these calls with us, whether or not they end up in the program, they're so powerful because it's really cool to look at someone's business or someone's ideas from an external perspective and share our thoughts and share, what actions you could take right now to put this in motion or to help to grow this. So we love these calls so much, and we cannot wait to chat with you.
Awesome, guys. You can go to bledigital.com/apply and be sure to jump on into the tribe if you're not there, bit.ly/BLE tribe. And we will be back in your ears. That always just sounds so weird to me. On Tuesday with our episode with Dina Canijo of Natural Aloha.